What if I told you there's an animal that's literally invading graves in the United States? That's causing structural damage to entire buildings, destroying golf courses, gardens, and even threatening native species like sea turtles? This mysterious invader arrived silently in the country about 100 years ago, and since then has been expanding its territory in a terrifying way. It digs dozens of holes per night, each up to 6 inches deep, and when it doesn't find enough food, well, it can turn to something much more disturbing. Some experts report that this animal can even devour corpses when hunger strikes. And the most concerning part? It's a carrier of one of humanity's oldest and most feared diseases, leprosy. Stay until the end of this video to find out what animal we're talking about and how it might be coming to your area. The answer will surprise you. Let's start by profiling this mysterious invader. First, we need to understand what makes a species truly invasive. An invasive species isn't just an animal that left its natural habitat. To be considered invasive, it needs to cause significant damage to the environment, economy, or public health. And our mysterious protagonist today fits this definition perfectly. This animal arrived in the United States between the 1920s and 1930s, brought by people. Initially, it was restricted to the South, but since then has been expanding its territory relentlessly. Today, it can be found from Florida to Missouri, and experts predict it could reach as far as Massachusetts. But what makes this invader so effective? First, it's extremely versatile in its diet. About 75% of its diet consists of insects, especially beetles, but it also consumes worms, small reptiles, bird eggs, fruits, and, when necessary, decomposing organic matter. And here comes the first major problem. It has a voracious appetite for eggs. Quail eggs, sea turtle eggs, alligator eggs. This is causing a significant decline in several native species. Now let's talk about the damage this invader causes. And prepare yourself, because the list is extensive and disturbing. First, property destruction. This animal can dig up to 20 holes per night, each 1 to 2 inches wide and up to 6 inches deep. Imagine waking up to find your garden, your lawn, or your golf course completely destroyed. But the worst is yet to come. It doesn't stop there. This invader digs extensive burrows that can cause serious structural damage. Imagine your home's foundation being compromised by underground tunnels you don't even know exist. And here we come to the most disturbing point: cemeteries. This animal has been reported causing damage in cemeteries, digging near graves. Some experts report that, although uncommon, it can indeed consume decomposing organic matter when food becomes scarce. Our invader today is technically classified as an insectivore, but its opportunistic diet can include practically anything when necessary. But how did this invader manage to expand its territory so quickly? Until 1850, it was restricted to south of the Rio Grande. But with human colonization, the construction of bridges over rivers that were once natural barriers, and especially with climate change, it found a clear path north. Temperatures in the northeastern United States increased 2 degrees Fahrenheit between 1895 and 2011, and could increase up to 10 degrees by 2080. This creates perfect conditions for this species' expansion. In 1995, it was only seen in extreme southern South Carolina. Today, it has already colonized entire states and continues advancing. The speed of this expansion is simply terrifying. Before I finally reveal what animal we're talking about, if you're enjoying the content and want more videos like this about invasive species and environmental impacts, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. This really helps us continue producing quality content for you. The moment of truth has arrived. The mysterious invader that's causing all these problems is the 9-banded armadillo, known scientifically as Dasypus novencentus. That's right. This small armored mammal, which looks harmless, is actually one of the most problematic invaders in North America. With its characteristic shell and powerful claws, it has become a true ecological destruction machine. The name nine-banded comes from the joints in its shell, which allow flexibility during movement. Contrary to what many think, it can't roll completely into a ball. That's an ability of other armadillo species. But wait, before you panic thinking this animal is systematically desecrating graves, let me clarify something important. Although the nine-banded armadillo can occasionally consume carrion, there's a related South American species that's much more prone to this behavior, the six-banded armadillo, known scientifically as Euphrates sexunctus. The nine-banded armadillo is technically classified as an insectivore, but its opportunistic diet can include practically anything when necessary. Now that we know who our invader is, let's better understand how it operates. The nine-banded armadillo is primarily nocturnal and uses its elongated snout and front paws to dig. It can detect insects up to 8 inches below the soil surface. But here's the problem. It has very limited vision for detecting food at a distance, only a few feet. This means it needs to dig extensively to find food, causing all the damage we mentioned. And when it finds an area rich in insects, it can spend the entire night digging there. Its burrows can be up to 20 feet long and 2 feet deep. Imagine the structural impact of this near house foundations. A single armadillo can dig up to 20 different holes in a single night. Multiply this by a population that's growing exponentially, and you have a recipe for environmental disaster. And speaking of population growth, nine-banded armadillos have a unique reproductive strategy. They always have identical quadruplets. This means each female produces 4 genetically identical offspring per year. But perhaps the most concerning aspect of this invasion is the risk to human health. The nine-banded armadillo is the only animal, besides humans, capable of naturally hosting the bacterium Mycobacterium leprae, the cause of leprosy. Cases of leprosy transmitted by armadillos have already been documented in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida. Although the exact transmission mechanism is still not completely understood, the risk exists. And with the growing armadillo population and increased contact with humans, this risk will only increase. So if you live in an area with armadillos, never try to capture or handle a live or dead animal without proper protective equipment. And if you find damage caused by armadillos on your property, seek professional guidance for management. So what's being done to control this invasion? Unfortunately, controlling armadillos is extremely difficult. Repellents don't work. Poisons aren't effective. Fences are useless because they dig underneath or climb over them. Live traps have miserable success rates. A study in Georgia recorded only 1 capture for every 132 nights of active trapping. Researchers tested various types of bait: crickets, worms, eggs, fruits, even pheromones from other armadillos. Worms and crickets were the most effective, but even so, success is limited. Eliminating insects from the soil to remove the armadillo's food source isn't a sustainable solution, as it would cause even greater environmental damage. Currently, the only truly effective solution is targeted capture or elimination by specialized professionals. But this is a Sisyphean task. For every armadillo removed, others arrive to occupy the territory. So did you imagine that such an apparently harmless animal could cause so many problems? The nine-banded armadillo is a perfect example of how an invasive species can completely transform an ecosystem. It arrived discreetly, established itself silently, and now is causing damage ranging from property destruction to public health risks. And the worst part? It's far from reaching its maximum distribution potential. Experts predict it could reach the northeastern United States in the coming decades. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more content about invasive species and environmental impacts. And don't miss our next video, where we'll talk about another invasive species that's causing havoc. See you next time.